The story of Mūsā ﷺ salam is one of the most detailed in the Qur'an, and for good reason. It is a story about trust, speaking truth to power, struggle, fear, and how Allah prepares us for challenges long before we ever see them coming. Mūsā ﷺ salam was born at a time when Pharaoh had ordered the killing of every newborn from the Bani Israel. But through Allah's plan subhanahu wa ta'ala, Mūsā wasn't just saved. He ended up being raised inside Pharaoh's own palace, cared for by the very people who wanted him dead, those bent on his destruction. The danger he was supposed to fear, by Allah's remarkable grace, became part of his very upbringing. He, ﷺ salam, grew up under Pharaoh's roof, eating his food, walking his halls, while the Bani Israel, Mūsā's people, were enslaved outside those same walls. This created a unique situation. Mūsā ﷺ had access to power, but he also could see the injustices. Eventually, he was forced to flee Egypt after accidentally killing a man while trying to defend someone, while standing for the oppressed. Years later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands him to return as a prophet and to confront the same Pharaoh he had lived with for years. This was not an easy task, was not an easy command. For according to the scholars, he had a speech impediment and was so worried that he would not be able to speak confidently and convincingly. Worse, Pharaoh may punish him for the past. So Mūsā ﷺ, as a prophet, turned to Allah. My Lord, expand for me my chest, ease my task for me, and untie the knot in my tongue so that they may understand my speech. He also asked for support, specifically his brother Harun to go with him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted. Allah gave him help, gave him reassurance, and promised to be with them every step of the way. That's one of the most powerful lessons from Mūsā's story. The very things he thought disqualified him, his history, his speech impediment, his fear, didn't prevent him from being chosen, and the support he needed was already close at hand. Even the time he spent away from Egypt wasn't wasted. It was part of his preparation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had been setting the stage all along, from his birth to his upbringing to his escape, his return. And that's how Allah works. Sometimes we think we're lost, off track, or not ready. But in reality, Allah Azza wa Jal is arranging and rearranging things in the background, putting people, experiences, and lessons in place that we may not fully appreciate or understand until a unique time in the future, when Allah's prior preparation for us, through our experiences, failures, and successes, is understood in context. Think about your own life. Have you been through something that only made sense years later? Are you doubting yourself because of your limitations? Are you afraid to step into something difficult because perhaps you feel unqualified? Mūsā ﷺ was afraid too, but he moved forward with trust in Allah and with support. His story reminds us that our weaknesses don't disqualify us from Allah's generosity and Allah's plan. In fact, our weaknesses become the very reason we are forced to rely on Him even more. And that's exactly our tasking. It is to realize our servanthood, our ubudiyyah, before His Lordship, for He is the one capable and we incapable. And this servanthood of need oftentimes is only realized when we engage with life's tests with our weaknesses, yet are aided by Allah to succeed. All of us are like Mūsā ﷺ. We have all been prepared and are being prepared actively for life's challenges and for those moments in our life where our servanthood is truly tested.
لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم